Welcome to the Main Beam Podcast. This is episode 17. I am one of your members, Adam Weaver here.
Spencer Mertens.
Brady Stockman.
I'm Max.
We got Max on again.
Max got to get his mic a little closer, I think.
Sorry, I'm not much of a talker.
It's the 26th today, Tuesday. You'll be hearing this on Thursday, so hopefully everyone's having a good Thursday. But looks like better weather coming for Missouri anyways this week.
Yeah, kind of a cold snap for March. I think it got down to tonight we have
Tonight's going to be like 30, 31.
Yeah, those birds are going to shut up probably. But surprisingly, probably won't. I'm sure I'll go scout in the morning and they'll be gobbling. Oh, yeah.
But no, we got some warmer weather coming throughout the end of this week into next week. So I think, we had a bunch of rain yesterday, so I think I'd say after this warm spell, we're going to see a lot of blow up as far as new spring growth.
Mm-hmm. And I know this next weekend, I know my brother and I plan on going and hopefully finding some morels. I think right now I've only seen morels pop up in microclimates, little pieces of land that are getting hit with some decent sun and just popping up here and there. But hopefully,
I
come
think
this weekend.
Overall soil temperatures, across most of the central part of Missouri was still mid to upper 40s, which it's getting there. I think it has to be consistently 50 degrees for them to, I guess, sprout.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's what you call it. But so we're coming up on it. We got a couple places to look. I wouldn't mind hitting here probably just right after this weekend, first of next week. I think it'll be go time on them. I know a couple people that have found them. Well, Levi's found how many already? Not a whole lot, but
A few, yeah.
yeah, a few. So, and they're whites or grays, whatever the hell you want to call them.
I think a lot of grays now. Yeah.
Which I think a gray is just a little white.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's just a white one that's small.
If you let it go until next weekend, it'd be a pretty big white morel, I'd say.
Oh. Dude, speaking of morels, we got me, Landon, and Spencer got a pair of fungis. They're blue. The
sunglasses.
Yeah, for shed hunting. Dude, so I was skeptical about it at first because even we've tried them on the last 2 years at the Deer Classic in Iowa, and it's hard to tell inside a building when you got fluorescent light and stuff. It makes everything gray and blue, but you can see it makes things whiter too. But they always told us they're you need a cloudy day, or if it's sunny outside and you're looking for sheds, it makes a big difference with outside natural light. So when we had them this weekend and we were shed hunting up in northeast Missouri with Brittany and Austin, and it makes a major difference. There was a couple times I put them on and I'd be walking around and I'd be like, damn, there's a shed. And you take it off and you'd be like, shit. You put them back on. It makes it so easy to see.
That's cool. Yeah. I've also seen, obviously talking about sheds, but back to some morels, I've seen that guys have been using thermals for morels.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, but
I like morels, but I couldn't eat obviously some people find hundreds of them. It's hard. It would be hard for me to eat that many of them.
You just freeze dry them, for the rest of the year. That's one way to do it.
I don't know. I eat a handful a year and then I'm fine. But
yeah. I don't know if we have necessarily anything major planned for this podcast. We have a few guests coming up on the next few weeks that should be really interesting, especially as we cruise into turkey season and more exciting stories are going to come. So we look forward to that.
Yeah. We had a couple things fall through, which we'll get into kind of, I guess, the meat and potatoes of what happened this weekend, probably in the coming weeks, because we were supposed to podcast last weekend with Brittany Scoville and Austin Peebler, and it was a couple things happened, whatever, we couldn't get it done, but so we'll get all that unfolded whenever we have them on. And then the guests we were supposed to have on tonight had some other stuff to do, so it's just us bullshitting for tonight. But we got a couple pretty cool guests lined up for the coming weeks, I think. So should be interesting. Landon's not here tonight, but he should be in on the next one, I believe.
Hope so.
Yeah. But I mean, other than shed hunting this weekend, me and Max did a bunch of timber work, which I was glad to get that done because it's been a while since we've really ran the saws pretty hard. cut a bunch of cedars down.
So it's just mainly cutting cedars.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like professional enough to know. Like I know what needs to be cut and what doesn't need to be cut a lot, but I'm not like good enough to where like an NDA guy would come in and say, okay, you need to cut, 50% more. You need to you shouldn't have cut this, and this is why. Like I'm not like that good at it, but I mean, we're all good enough to know like what to cut, and you can't really mess up cutting cedars,
Right. I mean, one of our guests is a forestry guy, so that would have been a nice one to talk about.
Yeah, I'll say that's why I wanted Josh to come on, because I know he knows a lot about whatever burning and the timber work, because that's what he does for MDC on the public lands and stuff. But we'll have him on here in the next couple weeks.
Well, I have a few spots that he should come take a look at if he's doing it on public land, because there's a few spots that are a little overgrown. If he would.
Honestly, me and
Mac
should have got a hold of him, because he told us, he's like, anytime you want to whatever TSI or burn, he's like, get a hold of me. I'll run a saw, I'll do whatever. So should have given him a call and see what he thought. But I mean, we chopped out, I don't know, what would you say it was? Probably 2 acres there, a couple acres.
Yeah, basically we just went in on the side of food plots, or at my farm, they're the bigger fields that are all food, and typically we know history of the deer coming out of year after year, and trying to create bedding closer to food. And what we did, just kind of step one, we went down on a Sunday just to more or less mess around, and we started with just cutting cedars, which made a hell of a difference. But like he said, the next step would have somebody like a forester come down and say, okay, definitely get rid of these non-desirable trees, maybe do some select hinge cutting here and there. But what we did was a hell of a start, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see a noticeable difference this year in the how obviously it was an area, like Max said, that we knew like deer used, and over the years you start learning a property. So the whole goal is just to have something bed close or hold on your farm, whether you want a young deer to survive another year and you hope he holds out on your farm through rifle season so your neighbor don't shoot it, or it is getting that 5 or 6 year old deer to bed close enough to where you can shoot him in daylight, or get him out to your plot earlier than dark.
Yeah, I was about to ask you what the specific reason is, but that would make sense, especially for those early September days, when you get an opportunity in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, that's it. And the timber on his farm down there, which the area it's in, there's a lot of cedars anyway, so that's just kind of how that area is. So even just cutting the cedars out, noticeable difference instantly. And then, like I said, we went back through and we knew trees that were either had a crook in them and weren't going to be anything, or were shaded out by bigger trees, so we were cutting some of the smaller stuff out. And we know what we're doing good enough to an extent to.
Well, we've also hunted this farm for however many years without doing any serious projects like this, and I've mapped it out on Onyx 4 or 5 different times, come up with ideas, and we've all looked at it and not only say, oh, this is a good bedding area or whatever, but putting a bedding area off the side of this main ag field or whatever, and then the bedding in this area creates different corridors and all sorts of different stuff. So there's more of a thought process put into it, more than just going to chop down the trees. So I don't know. I think it's going to make a hell of a difference.
Yeah, I think it'll make a hell of a difference. And like you said, we've hunted it long enough where we've mapped it out 1,000 times and looked at it 1,000 different ways of how the deer move through it and stuff. And we'll continue to learn over the years of how they, continue to move through what we did. But I think it's going to be like kind of the plans that we have set, like over time, as far as executing the plans go, it's going to open a lot of opportunities to put either new stands in places or to get deer to move and survive on the place.
And not only just for the ideas of doing this stuff to create ways of killing deer or holding deer, but like Brady said, the farm's got a lot of cedar trees and just junk trees on it. Well, you can tell, hell, we walked it the other day, I don't know how many years ago, but the farm, you could tell, used to be an open, probably a lot of prairie ground on it. That's just too far gone.
Yeah, it is.
Many years.
I was gonna say,
And it's young enough to where you're still walking in the woods and you can literally stand and see a line of trees and then a line of just like all cedar, so you know it was open ground at one time. So obviously we're doing it for a hunting standpoint, but I'd also like to see the farm brought back.
restored a little bit to how originally
What it should
was.
be.
Yeah,
Which is good for all wildlife, really.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of opportunity, and Max burned down there a couple weeks ago when we were talking about he came on and his farm was back on fire.
Oh yeah.
So we walked through a lot of that just to see like, and it is interesting because the part that burned we haven't done any work to at all. Like it hadn't had any select cuts or chop and drops or cedars cut or nothing. It was just been barren or not barren, but it's been an overgrown field for the last 40, 50 years, however long it's been. So when the fire ran through it, like when we were walking through it, you could see, like he said, clear, like where fences used to be, and it was kind of more of like a blank canvas of none of the leaves were on the ground, none of the everything was burnt up. So it was neat to see like kind of it more opened up, I guess.
It made me want to just light the rest of the farm on fire.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even in like right next to my house, we burn only like 4 acres of woods, and it's part of it, didn't burn, part of it did burn. And just right now with all the rains, it's so fun to see, why you want to burn, and you see
the new growth.
Oh yeah, the new growth it's booming right now. And I mean, all I can say is my chickens are having a heyday, and some of that new growth just getting in there.
Oh yeah,
just loving it. So plus helps with the ticks and all that.
Yeah.
Too,
Well, see, that's what we were talking about. Like the spot that we just did last weekend, we were talking about maybe even running a fire through it like in a week or two, just because it's so. We cut enough to where it's not like a jumbled mess where deer can't go through it, but there's enough cedars in it to where it's like, things are getting thick. So I don't know. We may mess around and run a damn fire through it yet this year, kind of burn some of the stuff out and get some new growth in there. But I don't know. Theoretically, like if you went and cut like a whole like cedar ridge, most people leave it for a year or 2 years. And let it, you get the skeletons, and then when you run a fire through it, it's hot enough it burns most of the skeletons up, and you end up with an open savanna or whatever you want to call it, I guess. But I don't know. It was cool. It was cool to see progress. Like we've been threatening to do it for the last couple of years now, and to actually, I mean, we probably ran a saw like in total for less than 4 hours, 2 saws, a couple tanks of fuel. Well, Max was running a Milwaukee battery saw. We switched off 2 batteries.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was. I wish I would have took like a before and after video, because I sent Spencer a couple videos, but like it was pretty impressive. Like all of what we did get cut in that time.
I'd just like to run a fire through it this year, just to. I know it's not going to consume all the cedar trees, but if it just cleaned them up a little bit, I mean, the sunlight that's hitting the floor in there now is a crazy difference, but there's so many cedar trees on the ground that it's still
even next
Still
spring there's still going to be brown needles on them.
So
those
I'd like
will burn up though.
I'd like to light a fire through there now, even if it
Consumed
burned up
a
little bit of it. I think it would help, and then mainly just for turkeys.
Yeah, the funniest thing was, dude, it scared the shit out of me. We pull up to his farm in Max's truck, and he rolls up. We roll up to one of his cameras because we were gonna check and see what kind of turkeys were on it. Gets out, shuts his door, and I was walking around the front of the truck. I already got out. Shuts his door, slams it real hard. I swear to God, like 70 yards over the hill, pow! Turkey just lights off. It scared the shit out of me. I got down. I was like, oh fuck! I said, Max, did you hear that? Oh, no, I didn't hear it.
Shut your door again.
Yeah, I swear to God, it wasn't like, I was like, you got your calls with you? He's like, yeah. We just, called at him for a minute. Here they come, steamrolling straight up the hill. And they just looked at us, and we were like, damn, if we were turkey hunting, we would have been done in like 2 seconds.
Absolutely. You got some good birds?
Well, back in the fall, like during deer season, I was getting groups of, I would say 11 to 13.
Yeah.
Right around there. And then I don't know if they're grouped up somewhere else, but
it's broke off to like a group of 3 and
Yeah.
1 or 2 here and there. But
Awesome.
I mean, yeah, they're
yeah, I mean, there's three good longbeards there. We'd probably shoot 1 and
yeah. I mean, I
Let 'em.
try to only shoot 1 off that farm. Just turkey hunting's my pride and joy. If you haven't figured that out, by now.
Sacred, man.
But I tried to just shoot 1 off that farm every year and then just leave it be. But I'd say it's gonna be good for 1 bird, and I know the other ones are still around because the neighbor, he did send me a picture of a group of 11, so I know they're still around. But and then I did have a picture of 15 jakes. Which
Yeah.
that's
the Jakes is good. I mean,
love
that's
it.
Yeah,
Nice.
But no, I mean, his one neighbor traps real hard, so his one neighbor's definitely doing it. But so the area is weird around there because the way like his property lines lay, like obviously you know how turkeys are, like they're gonna roost on the property line. No, I mean you could have 1,000-acre farm, and it seems like they're always on the property line.
Yeah.
You know. And so the reason for shooting only 1 bird down there is because the 6 neighbors that are around him all are gonna shoot. They're all gonna shoot a bird too. So it's just kind of like, you know.
and every bird they shoot, I could probably go sit at the farm, listen to them. They'd fly out of the tree, and the neighbors would shoot, and
Yeah.
the gunshot would be so loud because they're killing them all right along the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Which not that they're doing anything bad, but
Yeah, it's just
I mean,
not
happy for them if they're shooting turkeys.
Absolutely,
Great. I mean,
yeah.
that's what I want to do too. But that's why I tried to just shoot 1 down there because I know my 1 that I shoot is going to be one of 5 or 6
yeah.
that get killed. You know.
Especially if everyone's tagging out, you know, on the second,
Yeah.
third.
Yeah.
You know,
I
some
mean-
of those guys don't have other spots to hunt, and they might shoot
2
and
birds.
I know one guy, a couple of them have use and stuff, which is great. You know, but
Shoot a Jake.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take long. You start shooting. I mean, granted, it's not one, multiple farms, but you shoot 5 longbeards out of a flock of turkeys. That doesn't take long to put
Yeah.
a burden on the population. So,
Yeah, I mean, you could say, I mean, hell, even just say 1,000 acres around your farm. I mean, all the, like you said, all the birds they're shooting are all. We could listen to gobble that morning and probably fly down, and if we called them to us, we could kill them, or if they called, they're gonna kill them. So it's kind of like,
well, like that one morning when we,
They got the triple.
yeah,
the first year we went in there and actually killed them. How many gunshots we hear that morning?
like 6. Yeah, I mean, it was the whole time. You're sitting there, and you boom, and it's like rifle season. When you're
Oh yeah,
in
opening
deer
day.
season, you boom, and you're like, oh, like you almost like you got shot because you feel like it's fucking one of your.
And I mean, you can't be mad about it because the turkeys are turkeys are going to be where the turkeys are going to be. It's not like they're deer hunting on my fence line. It's just they're going to where the turkeys are gobbling, so you can't
Yeah.
blame them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just how it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've all probably shot our fair share of birds on property lines. So
Yeah, I mean, it just most of the time it just seems like which I don't know. Hunter talks about it a lot, and maybe reason being like even back like call it 70, 80 years ago, even before when they were putting fence lines up. It seems like when they were running fence lines, like there's always big ass trees on the fence line, or there's like creek and bluff. So it seems like the big roost trees are almost always just
Seems like
on property.
Property lines seem to always follow like some type of terrain feature.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
That
that's what I was
happens
trying to
to be-
say.
Good for
that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, take Wex for instance. He's got 1,200 acres there, and I could probably count on one hand how many birds we've killed,
Yeah,
which we've hunted there for 20 years. I could count on one hand how many birds we've shot off the center of the
center of the
property.
farm.
Almost every bird we've killed off that place has been within 100 yards of the fence line, just because that's where it's all following creeks and bluffs, and they either fly off the neighbors and fly down to us, or that follows the terrain feature, and that's where the big roost trees are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which Hunter has an interesting theory. Which he was supposed to come on, he was supposed to come on a couple weeks ago, and when Landon had COVID, but we'll have to have him on because he's got some interesting turkey theories, and one of them, like with the population decline, like in the last, I don't know, couple years or whatever. Like one of his theories was like the decline in like roost trees on certain properties, where they like had it logged over the years or whatever. So I don't know. It's interesting, but like you said, it seems like all the turkeys are always on the property line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to say out of all the birds I've scouted thus far, I've only want to say I've only heard probably just a handful. It's not. That's kind of the opposite. The properties that I've been blessed with permission on, have had roost trees just smack dab
dead in the
middle.
center of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right around the farmer's house too.
Yeah.
So it's like, if anything, I'm like, darn, like, can I just hang out on your porch? You know, like, like that. They'd just walk right by, and it's like, don't want to do that when you're blasting a 3.5-inch turkey load. You know, like right off the edge of the house.
One of the guys we buy paint from for the shop from Sherwin-Williams, he was sending us videos. It's been about a week ago, that his wife was sending him off the porch or whatever, and I don't even know how many acres he's got, but he said they all just roost like literally 50 yards behind his house. They'll just fly down right in his backyard.
Golly, yeah, that's awesome. You gotta love, waking up in the morning, getting on your back porch with coffee and just listening to the music in the morning. I mean, that's an exciting time. So it's like mid-April can't come soon enough. I mean, heck, we're all taking use out just so we can get a piece of it,
Oh yeah. Well, turkey hunting. So I'd like to experience elk hunting in like the rut whenever they're bugling and stuff versus like this year in rifle season. It was just kind of cold and we were just looking for them eating and stuff again. But turkey hunting, it's just so much. I guess I'm not going to say, I don't know how to say if it's like better or like it's more exciting to take a youth turkey hunting than it is deer hunt, I feel like, just because you get to work the bird, you get to hear it, the youth gets to hear it. Like there's more interaction in it. And it just, I think it's better for youth taking them turkey hunting. I like taking them turkey hunting more than deer hunting anyways.
You actually like go around and go at the bird too.
Yeah.
I must still be a youth myself because I would personally rather turkey hunt any day over deer hunt.
Oh yeah, yeah. I always said like I love shooting deer. But there's something about like I can go out and turkey hunt all day long, not shoot one, and still have more fun than deer hunt.
I don't get it. So I think to me, turkey hunting deer hunting to me, it's the process from like the timber work we just did to planting food plots, leading all the way up to like max kills of deer there this year probably. Like it's the whole process that leading up to kill it. But for turkey, like for me, turkey hunting's more of just like you got to just run around and kind of just be like, woo, and just.
It's like a bonus.
Yes, that I was gonna say. It's kind of like a break from deer hunt. Like deer hunt, we take so serious, and it's like, we call. Well, all of us call each other so much, like, what do you think I should do? Or this deer did this, whatever. We're strategizing. Turkey hunting is just kind of like, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, you got to watch the wind.
Yeah.
You're always watching the weather, the pressure, and then turkey hunting's like, 65 degrees, let's go.
Just, be quiet, don't move.
I catch myself, my first 4 or 5 sets of the year. And anytime I'm deer hunting, I'm super anal, super serious about it, just like anybody else. But I catch myself like the first handful of hunts, with high anticipation, and I'm super excited, and then it slowly starts going downhill to where I'm like, I'm getting in the stand again. Compared to every morning I wake up turkey and I'm like, I'm locked in, ready to roll.
Absolutely. I think there's only been, usually you just hunt birds and, you just get what you get. But I think there's only one year that I had a bird the year prior that had a distinct tail feather that was like white in the middle.
Really?
And I knew that he was the bird I was going after. And that was really cool because shout out to Mike Severance if he's listening. He's one of he's my buddy, but my dad's urologist that we just grew up with. And he actually has a fun farm. He's a urologist. His farm's called Hardwood Hills. So it's for anybody that gets that pun. I got to hunt on Hardwood Hills, and so good stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember like on game camera the year prior, you could see distinctly whenever he was strutting sideways, broadside, he had 3 beards. He had a white middle. One was missing. I think he grew it back feather, and then one distinct it was just like a piebald looking feather and he came in and he was just the boss. You could just tell like he beat up everybody, and he had like 1.5 inch long spurs, and I knew exactly where he was roosting. The next year I got on him, and my first morning out he comes in, I'm like, that's the one. Like that was probably the only experience that was turkey hunting that felt like the story of like deer hunting for me.
Right.
But that's only been one bird, and it's only because he had very distinct features that I could tell on.
Speaking of interesting birds, one of the girls from the shed hunt this weekend, Felicia, she had pictures of a smoke phase hen in Michigan.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
Yeah, or even like bearded hens, stuff
Yeah.
like that. You just know that they're out there, and if they come across, you got history with them. So there's a few that I hunted a bearded hen over on one of my turkey hunting spots, and it seems like every time I go and hunt that one, she just doesn't show up. But who knows? If she comes into my site this spring, I hate killing hens in the springtime, but she's a 7-year-old.
mow her down.
Yeah, she's like a 6 or 7-year-old bird. I'm like, I might go after that one. We'll see. Yeah. But
I killed a bearded hen when I was a youth one year that had like an 11-inch beard.
see, like you ain't gonna shoot one like that ever again, probably. So that's pretty cool.
You could probably come to my farm and shoot a bearded hen if you want to.
Is that why you were grinning over there for a minute? I want to do with my bow though, if anything, preferably.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot my bow starting this year. So if I get pissed
there might
off
be-
with it, I'm gonna pick the
There
shotgun
might be
back
two
up.
of them, if I'm not sure. And in the flock that I
yeah.
would see, there might be two of them that's bearded. I don't remember, but I don't know. They've just always been there, so I just don't think anything about them. But yeah, I guess it would be cool to say you got one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
but-
gotta get new XLR cables.
You say you're gonna try to take your bow out to go kill a turkey. You said.
Yeah,
Is it legal? I should have looked this up. Is it legal? Can you take a shotgun and a bow? I mean, I hate having that. Like,
No.
I didn't think so. Right? Your buddy can have a shotgun. You can have a bow, and you can swap.
yeah, you could swap.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Which is what we'll do. If we're say I'm bow hunting and whatever Spencer's filming, Spencer will have the shotgun. So if it's
Shoot one.
yeah,
and-
thwack, I miss it. First of all, say I kill it, I guess, and there's a second one standing there, and Spencer can shoot it then with it, but mostly just for if you did shoot it and wounded it or whatever, I could be like, all right, give me the shotgun.
Mhm.
And then,
There's nothing better than shooting deer with the bow. I could care less shoot a deer with a rifle
Oh, yeah.
anymore. But me and Brady were talking about it because down there they're pretty religious in some of them fields. Talked about trying to shoot one in the head with one of them guillotine broadheads.
Oh, dude.
But to be honest with you, I enjoy shooting turkeys with a shotgun.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I
my-
really like. I mean, they're just made to be like any bird. They're made to just be shot with a shotgun. Like it just feels good whenever you can just shoot them with a shotgun. But I don't know. I've never killed one with my bow, so I'm gonna try it this year.
Yeah. I just always, every time I think of turkey hunting and one coming in, I can just hear that safety click off, and that's when I'm like, oh, it's go time, baby. Yeah.
Are you going for like a headshot or?
No, I'm body shooting them.
Bow, yeah, breaking
Is
a
it-
wing. That's the one thing. It's like I've read into on that. Like, where do you want to shoot them? Like, if you have a guillotine broadhead, well, obviously you're gonna try to shoot them in the neck or head, and then if you're just gonna aim in at the body, I've heard a
So-
lot of you have to break a leg, break a.
So to
break a
me,
wing,
strutting.
or- yeah.
My decoy or my bird's over there. It's hard to tell, but they always say shoot them in that discoloration by the
Yeah, let's just start right in that pocket.
like that shiny spot or whatever. That's where
Right above the wing.
yes,
Right above, yeah, because
Yes.
you're gonna hit the vital, but you'll break the wing.
So I think it's actually
You- the
you're
le-
supposed to break the
le-
legs.
yeah.
Break the legs.
Yeah, you
Because
wanna
a
break their
turkey- A
legs.
turkey can't fly if it has broken legs.
Oh yeah, because it can't run and
Yeah,
get up.
it's got to be able to run to. Yep. So that's what I was listening to the Ray's hunting podcast, and they talk about it all the time too. Like a lot of targets and stuff, they'll show you, oh, shoot it like higher in the.
Well, to be fair, I mean, if you break its wing, it's not gonna fly either.
Yeah.
But they can run like hell.
Yeah, they can. Well, that's how the one I think I've told it in an earlier podcast, but I shot it, and I guess I hit mainly body, and I had when I went to investigate, I ended up hitting him a little bit low on the neck, but a lot hit him right in the wing, and I had to run after him, and if it wasn't for that about 6 foot deep creek that he had to go swimming through, that I took a dive into as well, I probably would have never found
Is this
him.
the Vietnam story?
Yeah, this is
Oh,
when he.
yeah.
That's when he crawled for 2.5 hours.
Dude, I crawled for 2.5 hours, 450 yards. It was honestly the most fun I ever had. But I was already soaking wet from the dew just getting there. So jumping in the creek was nothing to get this bird. I mean, it was absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that was so funny. I still laugh about that. So, damn, what were you in Vietnam?
Yeah. I still remember the landowner was like, what the hell happened to you? I was like, just long story, man.
Was it Where was it? Coons's?
This was
Or what different place?
yeah, what connected.
Oh yeah.
Connected,
Okay, I
yeah.
know what you're talking about. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about
So,
now. Yeah, that's
Luckily,
fine.
I got once again just blessed with some really amazing people. That then again that year I found probably like 3 pounds of morels as I was walking out, and it's just fun to like shoot one, and then he doesn't expect money. I mean, the guy's loaded; he doesn't want any money or anything like that. But to show up to his house and be like, "Hey, I got one," he's like, "Awesome," and then be like, "Hey, I got this for you," and I have a bag of morels for him, and he goes, "You don't want any?" I'm like, "No, thank you, man," and that's cool. That's cool to be able to do something like that for him.
No, giving back to the landowners is definitely cool. But it seems like all the landowners we hunt on, they know where the mushrooms are
Yeah,
at. So.
this guy's not going out there to go look for him.
No,
so, yeah,
no, he's definitely not. There was something I was gonna say. I don't remember what the hell I was gonna say. You started talking about mushrooms. It'll come to me.
yeah. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, yeah.
Oh,
Turkey.
I know
go
what
ahead.
I know what it was. It was gonna be. I was gonna talk about like ticks turkey hunting. When you're sitting there. So we were talking to Dawson Harney and Hannah Renshaw this weekend about fucking turkey hunting and ticks or whatever. Like you're just sitting there and you just see them like rolling up your pants, or you feel them rolling up your back or whatever when you're turkey hunting. Hannah said she takes, I guess, I don't know, she says a pill. She says it's just called garlic supplement, like a little garlic pill or whatever. She said she hasn't had a tick bite her in like 6 years. Like she said, every turkey season she'll start taking them like one a morning or whatever. Yeah, and she said, I guess the ticks don't.
I just do permethrin. Like
Yeah,
spray,
I mean, that's what I sprayed all my shit with. But as far as like, which she said that's what they spray on all their stuff too. But she said like, as far as them like biting you, they won't like.
I'm sure garlic's probably a healthier alternative than spraying permethrin on your clothes.
Yeah,
so
probably so, honestly.
But it is satisfying to see a tick crawl up your leg and then it just slowly start to like
Wilt
fade
away.
off and then just die off. I'm like, yeah, that's right, man. Try it again. Tell your buddies.
A couple of the girls that were up there, I was showing them the video of when we were lint rolling the seed ticks from
Oh my
the
God.
Top
Yeah,
Secret off.
Yeah, like 10,000 on one lint
Yeah.
roll.
I was like, y'all ever
Shoot.
seen whatever they were talking about ticks? And a couple of guys were like, yeah, I picked like 30 off of me before. And I was like, oh, 30? I was like, watch this shit. And yeah, I showed them that video. And they were like, oh my God, like that's all ticks. I'm like, yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that is one thing I'm not excited about whenever I'm turkey hunting, but it's totally worth it. So
Yeah. It's not bad, like I said, anymore with all the, I don't know, I stuff my pants and my boots, lace them up, and permethrin. Like, I don't know. I get a handful that bite me every year, but it's nothing like super.
What's worse, ticks in turkey season or mosquitoes in September deer hunting?
Ticks. I gotta say ticks.
I don't know. I don't get ticks that bad myself.
So if
See,
you
Max,
did get
he
ticks,
seems
though.
like he doesn't. Like in turkey season, I'm gonna say ticks in turkey season.
Max is cold blooded.
But
I guess.
I guess
Max got a boatload of turkeys.
part of that is that we've spent the last 3 years in Kansas, like through September. So when we come back here, we usually don't hunt till like the first to midweek of October. So the mosquitoes are usually like, you catch that cold front, they're pretty down quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can remember 7 or 8 years ago when we were younger, we were hunting, opening day or the first week in a season, you were sitting there and they're bzzz right in your ear. But
I think I would have to go with mosquitoes though for me, just personally, because usually whenever I have mosquitoes that are really buzzing around me, it's real hot outside. It's September, and they're usually coming in pretty hot and heavy, like right in the last 30 minutes of light. Mm-hmm. And you're trying not to move, and you have one just sucking on your cheek, but there's a buck standing at like 10 yards from you.
That
and
is
you're
so
like,
bad.
That's the worst,
I don't know. I hate ticks in general in the summer. Like by the time we start planting, I guess it's not terrible because we usually got the skid loader and are mowing paths and stuff, so it's not like you're going in deep stuff. But anymore, like from like after turkey season all the way up till into July, August, when we start spraying and planting, it's hard to get me to step foot in some timber anymore.
Mm-hmm.
In the summer, it's just.
No, I'm pretty selective. I prefer to be inside of a UTV or something.
Which, like I said, fire.
If it's past turkey season or whatever we're planting in the spring, and I'm going in the timber, it's just to check a camera. Other than that, I'm on the river. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's
I
no.
better not be getting no ticks out there.
Yeah, I remember when we were younger, whatever, on their family farm down there, I mean, it was middle of the summer, and we were down there sawing on food plots and stuff, and yeah, it was like 90 degrees, and we were fucking chainsawing food plots out and throwing logs, and I mean, now we got a little older and equipment and a little more smarts in our head not to do it, but yeah, it's hard, like I said, after turkey season to get me to like go walk a property or something.
Oh yeah.
I'm just not a fan of ticks. Well, Landon had the not the alpha gal, not the red meat one, the Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Oof.
It fucked him up for a while.
Yeah, he was sick for like 2 months, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Dawson Gump, you know Dawson Gump? He's got alpha gal.
Yeah.
So he can't eat red meat.
Like you can't eat deer meat anymore. I mean,
No.
it's
He said if he eats red meat, it just massive stomach issues.
yeah, that would be a huge bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah. No, nowadays, as a kid, I didn't really worry about it too much, and literally, thank God, I never got contracted anything that was going to cause issues. But nowadays, I get out of the stand or out of doing timber work, and I'm instantly stripping down and having the wife look me over and everything just to make sure I don't have anything stuck to me.
I really like the past couple of years. I've really noticed the ticks, but like I guess back then I probably wasn't in the woods as much.
Right. Yeah.
But like I never really had a problem with ticks back whenever I was younger.
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably just the more pronounced with you just being out in the woods.
Well, yeah, more places that I'm going to or whatever, but it's weird. Because I know, like, whenever I was younger, I was always in the woods, but I just never really found any. Or never had really any stuck to me.
Yeah, and there's a chance, too, like, I know just going through, I know where to walk and where not to walk now, too. Like, I know what type of vegetation that's going to, tend to have, like, I don't know if this is the right term, but they tend to spawn on and have, you walk through it and you got freaking 3,000 ticks, baby sea ticks crawling up your pant leg. You're like, oh, this is horrible.
Fucking
Well,
You want to go to Top Secret?
cedars are terrible for it.
Dude.
Yeah, cedars hold like 3 times more ticks than like a normal just hardwood or field.
Just bad all around those cedars.
Just like straight up like desolate cedars where you can get down on one knee and look all the way through them. For whatever reason, they hold way more tick. I don't know why, but I don't know. It's interesting. I know like when the Hunting Public did that, I'm sure, have you watched the video where they put the white painter suits on and they go, Grant Woods, I think, did it too. They put the painter suits on, they go walk through the woods and count, or through the fields and stuff, and count how many ticks are on them. Because you can see them, crawling up on you on the white. Dude, it's honestly fucking nasty, like how many of them
Will get on.
Yeah, just walking through a fields. I don't know. Terrible. Fire helps. I mean, fire obviously helps a lot. Like, I'm sure what went through Max's timber probably toasted all the ticks in it, but because it was a hot enough fire. But, God, it seems like even fields, you burn them off and it grows back up and you walk through it and there's still ticks in it.
The worst is not even when you get done hunting and you might have a tick or something, you pull it off, whoop-de-doo. But the worst is like the next day you're at a dinner somewhere or at an outing with friends and you're like, what the fuck's on my back? And you pull a tick off somewhere when you're not even in the woods.
It's fucking terrible.
No, it is. And to me, like, it's just, just another tick, it's just whatever. I don't think about it too much, but I remember my wife, she's from Phoenix, and like when she got her first tick, I mean, she was freaking out. I'm just like, just take it off, like easy peasy. It's not, it didn't kill you. But I think if it stays on you longer than 24 hours, and I'm sure there's a little wiggle room and probably some more science involved in it, but if you get it off within 24 hours, the likelihood definitely is statistically significant that you'll not have or contract anything.
Yeah.
But then again, it's amazing how you can you think that you have everything off of you, and you look, a couple of days later, it's like, well, you got to be kidding me! Like this thing, you've been on me for a couple of days already. So,
or you just go ahead.
I've seen them too, where you're like in your truck and you'll just see one crawling across the dash of your truck. They get off your you get down turkey and throw your coat in the back seat or whatever, and they crawl down.
Nowadays, I just remember to take all my stuff off, and I mean, it's just for me, with deer hunting, I put it into a certain tote in the back of my car or the back of the truck, whatever I'm, going, depending on how far I need to go with the gas mileage, what I'm going to be driving that day. But with turkey hunting, it's the same thing. I just put it into its own tote. I strip down and get into different clothes. That way, when I get home, I can just instantly throw it in the wash and just try to kill whatever's on it.
Yeah.
My biggest thing with a tick is if you don't see it crawling around on you, it and it is bite or it bit you or whatever, it feels like a damn a chigger bite.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how long does it take for them to be attached for you to actually feel that?
Yeah, for that irritation to set in.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Obviously Lee Lukoski, if you watch their YouTube channel, he nukes their whole farm. He sprays permethrin over their whole farm.
Does he? Huh.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'd have to go back there and watch some of it, but he was talking about you'll notice it's a noticeable difference, how much less it stresses his deer, and how obviously lets them put more antler growth on. But yeah, he said whatever through his trail camera pictures over the years when he started spraying permethrin and shit over, he sprays it all around all his feeders and everything like that. And he said it's a noticeable difference of how many ticks are obviously they get them all around their eyes and they're behind their ears and stuff. Yeah, he said most of his deer won't be loaded down with ticks, which I'm sure it helps, but I'm sure it also costs a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I know. I heard another guy. I don't remember which podcast it was on, but he was talking about ivermectin for livestock or horses or whatever.
Yeah.
How it's supposed to help with ticks and stuff. He's what would it do if you could mix ivermectin in with deer feed or whatever, to where it prevented obviously then your deer eats the feed and it takes it in. Could it help with all the ticks on the deer and not like I said, make them put more inches on because they're less stressed from having 7 million ticks on them. I don't know. Pretty interesting.
I'm sure it would.
I'm sure it's illegal, but we threatened to try it on a farm just to see what it would do. Because you can buy ivermectin over the counter for horses and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just for podcast's sake, we are not doing that.
Well, also, we're not going to spend money on that either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll do it the OG way. So,
yeah, we'll just kill them.
Exactly. Yeah, the most I'll do is permethrin on my own clothes, and that'll do me enough. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Me and Brady were threatening to take permethrin and on that top secret.
Yeah.
And putting it in a dang that Milwaukee backpack sprayer and literally just walking around and spraying it over because they're so bad. The ticks are so bad.
I wish you could get in there and just burn all that. It's just so close. I mean,
yeah, that's the problem. That place can't. It's too dangerous to burn that place. Without, not that it's too dangerous, but you would have to have the proper people there to do it, I would say, and the permission to do it.
Yeah.
One side wouldn't be as bad because there's a big creek that runs through it.
No, if you structured it right, it wouldn't be hard to do. There's just too much there.
Too many buildings.
Yeah, no, say there's too many houses and too many big structures there to let's just say we couldn't afford the damages that it would do, that it would do if it got out of control. But I mean,
once again though, your tax dollars would be put to work in a way that you actually would see it with those firemen showing up.
Until the company sued me for burning down their 20,000 square foot building.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's an interesting spot, but I've never seen ticks in my life. Like I've been places that has ticks before, but I mean, I'm talking consistent. Every time we walked in, just thousands and thousands of them.
The farm just needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah. We need to just take that grandpa's little brush hog in there and brush hog our trail. That way we don't have to brush up against shit whenever we're walking in there.
Yeah, or I would at least go down it a ways and then start brush hogging just to make it a little bit less inviting for people to trespass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. There's plenty of them there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you just get that with some of them city properties.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. People are going to walk in their backyards and go a little bit further than what the boundary is.
Yeah, I mean, we did it as kids.
Yeah, yeah, and as a kid, it's a pretty innocent gesture. You're not trying to get into trouble. And I know as a kid, I definitely did some of that. And thankfully, I ended up meeting the people that owned it, and they were fine with it. But I definitely didn't ask permission, and something I would never do nowadays. But when you're 10 years old, 9 years old, you don't even think about it. You're just like, I'm gonna go hang out in the creek.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I did when I was younger. I'd just go fiddle fart around in the creek and just keep walking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Where does this go? But anyways, yeah. So I'm excited. So on the coming weeks of the podcast, we got a forester coming on.
Yeah, we should. Like I said, I don't know exact order of what's going to happen. I'm sure we'll have some different ones mixed in here and there, but we should have Josh White should come on. He was going to talk a little bit about what he did with or does with MDC and some forestry stuff. And then I know you had the marine biologist.
Yeah, I got
a
fishery biologist, and then I got another guy lined up that I think people will like to hear from who he sells seeds. So like a lot of your main, I forget what company exactly he works for, but when we bring him on, I'm sure he'll share more detail. But a lot of soybeans and corn, and he's right now when we get him on the podcast, in case you guys are wondering too, he's running a deal on soybeans. So who knows? Maybe we'll end up purchasing some for ourselves and putting them to work.
Maybe so. And then, like I said, we got
get that guy on.
I think.
Yeah. No, seriously, you love this guy too. I mean, he's got a really interesting rap sheet. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but he's farmed different herbaceous materials legally, but he's changed it up to different farming aspects.
Very
and
cool. He'll have to tell us. But I think Saturday or Sunday we're gonna record one with Drake. Drake's coming down. Let me think. And then, like I said, the coming weeks we're gonna do one or two with Brittany and Austin. Probably Hannah and Dawson up there will be on one. So we should have like probably 8 weeks worth of podcasts lined out here.
Dude, I'm pumped, man.
Soon. So, but yeah, we're running up on an hour. I think we'll just go ahead and wrap her up. Is everyone got
Oh yeah, I'm excited for
cents
the future guests, and we're excited for turkey season and morel finding, and hopefully a little bit of both on the same day.
Yeah, nope, I agree. Can't wait for it. Spencer, any last words?
Nope.
Shit. All right.
Well, thanks to our thanks to our sponsor.
Spencer, go ahead and do the sponsor read for us, will you?
HLRBO.com. Go find your everyday lease all around the United States.
And Canada.
So where are you going to go if you need a lease?
HLRBO.com.
That's right. All right.
Love it.
We'll get out of here. It's getting late. I know Shay wants me to get home. She's tired. So, all right. We'll see everyone on the next one. Don't forget, wrap your tag around the main beam.